Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're diving into a fundamental concept in statistics that shapes how we understand variability in the world around us: distributions. A distribution in statistics is a function that shows the possible values for a variable and how often they occur. It's like a map of all possible outcomes, showing not just what can happen, but how likely each outcome is. Distributions are the backbone of statistical thinking, providing a framework for understanding variation and probability in countless scenarios. The study of distributions has a rich history in mathematics and statistics. Pioneers like Carl Friedrich Gauss, who described the famous bell curve or normal distribution in the early 19th century, laid the groundwork for our modern understanding. Since then, statisticians have identified and characterized numerous types of distributions, each describing different patterns of variability in nature, society, and beyond. Distributions come in many shapes and sizes, from the symmetrical bell curve of the normal distribution to the heavily skewed shapes of exponential or power law distributions. It's like having a diverse toolkit of shapes to describe the various patterns we observe in data. Let's consider an example. Imagine you're looking at the distribution of heights in a population. You'd likely find that it follows a normal distribution, with most people clustered around the average height and fewer people at the extremes of very short or very tall. This bell-shaped curve tells us a lot about how height varies in the population. But not all distributions are normal. Consider income distribution in many countries. It often follows a power law distribution, with a large number of people at lower income levels and a long tail extending to the right, representing a small number of very high earners. It's like comparing the shape of a mountain, normal distribution, to the shape of a comet's tail, power law distribution. In the business world, understanding distributions is crucial for everything from quality control to risk management. A manufacturer might use the normal distribution to set acceptable limits for product dimensions. An insurance company might use a Poisson distribution to model the frequency of insurance claims. It's like having a crystal ball that, while not perfect, gives valuable insights into what to expect. So how can we apply an understanding of distributions in our daily lives? Firstly, it encourages us to think beyond averages. When we hear a statistic like average income, we should consider what distribution that average comes from. Is it a symmetrical distribution, where the average represents a typical case, or a skewed one, where the average might be misleading? It's like developing X-ray vision to see through summary statistics to the underlying patterns. Secondly, understanding distributions can help us make better predictions and decisions under uncertainty. Whether we're estimating commute times, project durations, or investment returns, thinking in terms of distributions rather than point estimates gives us a more nuanced view of possible outcomes. It's like upgrading from a magic 8-ball to a probabilistic model of the future. Lastly, this concept can improve our critical thinking skills. When we encounter claims about normal or abnormal occurrences, we can ask ourselves what distribution these claims are based on. It's like having a built-in fact checker that asks, compared to what distribution? In conclusion, understanding distributions is a powerful tool for making sense of variability and uncertainty in the world. By embracing this mental model, we can become more sophisticated thinkers, better interpreters of data, and more nuanced decision makers. In a world where variation is the norm, the ability to understand and work with distributions is more valuable than ever. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. I hope this exploration of distributions has given you a new lens through which to view the patterns of variability all around us. Until next time, may your thinking be distributed wisely and your insights be statistically sound. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by the Podcast Host.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.